you've been feeling something shifting inside you, haven't you? A pressure, a calling, a quiet voice telling you that you were made for more. While others around you are distracted, confused, or stuck, you feel different, set apart, sometimes even misunderstood. And maybe lately you've been tired, spiritually drained, questioning if you're truly on the right path, wondering why the journey feels so heavy, why the battles never seem to end. But listen carefully. God is saying, you are not lost. You are being prepared. Every delay, every rejection, every silent season you've endured, it was not punishment. It was positioning. While others were chasing noise, God was building your strength in the quiet. While others doubted you, heaven was shaping you. You are a chosen one, not because you're perfect, but because you were willing to grow, willing to endure, willing to trust even when you didn't understand. And right now, God is about to shift something in your life. But before he does, you need to hear this message clearly. Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear could confirm everything your spirit has been trying to tell you. What you thought was silence was never emptiness. It was God working behind the scenes in ways you couldn't yet understand. There were moments when you felt overlooked, unheard, even invisible. You held back your words, your reactions, your true feelings, not because you had nothing to say, but because something inside you told you to wait. That restraint was not weakness, it was wisdom being formed in you. God was teaching you the power of stillness, the strength of self-control, and the importance of moving with purpose rather than impulse. While others may have mistaken your silence for fear or passivity, heaven saw it as discipline. In that quiet season, God was aligning your thoughts, refining your character, and strengthening your spirit. You were being trained to listen more deeply, not to the noise of the world, but to his voice. Because when God prepares a chosen one, he doesn't rush the process. He develops you in private before revealing you in public. Every time you chose peace over reaction, every time you walked away instead of engaging in unnecessary conflict, you were growing. You were rising above situations that were never meant to define you. And even though it felt like nothing was happening, everything was happening. Your patience was building endurance. Your endurance was building faith. And your faith is now positioning you for something greater. Now the season is shifting. The same people who underestimated you, who thought your silence meant you had nothing to offer, are about to witness a different side of you, not louder, not arrogant, but stronger, clearer, and more intentional. Because when God breaks your silence, it's not for noise, it's for impact. Your voice will carry weight because it has been tested. Your presence will command attention because it has been cultivated in humility. Understand this. God never wastes a season. That quiet period you went through was necessary. It protected you from distractions, from wrong connections, and from stepping into things you weren't ready for. It gave you time to grow without pressure, to heal without interference, and to build a foundation that cannot be shaken. So don't regret your silence. Don't wish you had acted differently. Everything happened exactly as it needed to. And now, as you step forward, won't be the same person you were before. You'll move with purpose, you'll speak with clarity, and most importantly, you'll walk in alignment with what God has been preparing you for all along. What you've been through was never meant to break you, it was meant to build you. Every struggle, every setback, every moment that made you question your strength was actually part of a deeper process of transformation. It may not have felt like training at the time. It felt like pressure, like confusion, like carrying more than you could handle. But God does not allow pain without purpose. There was intention behind every challenge you faced. You see, when God is preparing a chosen one, he doesn't just give them blessings, he builds their capacity to carry those blessings. And that kind of preparation doesn't come through comfort. It comes through resistance. Just like a muscle grows stronger under tension, your spirit has been strengthened through adversity. The things that tried to weaken you were actually developing endurance inside of you. The moments you thought you were losing were moments you were learning. There were nights you felt alone, days when nothing seemed to go right, times when people walked away or situations fell apart unexpectedly. It's easy to look at those moments and feel like you were being punished or forgotten. But the truth is, God was using those very experiences to sharpen your discernment, to deepen your faith, and to teach you how to stand firm even when everything around you felt unstable. You were being trained to trust God beyond what you can see, to believe even when there was no visible evidence, to keep going even when the results were delayed. That kind of faith cannot be developed in easy seasons. It is forged in uncertainty. It is strengthened in the waiting. And now, because of everything you've endured, you carry a level of spiritual maturity that cannot be faked or borrowed. Think about who you were before those struggles and who you are now. You've grown. You've become more aware, more resilient, more grounded. Things that once would have shaken you no longer have the same power over you. That's not chance, that's growth. That's the result of God's hand shaping you through every trial. Even the pain had purpose. It taught you lessons you wouldn't have learned any other way. It showed you who to trust and who to release. It revealed your inner strength and brought you closer to God in ways comfort never could. You learned how to pray with sincerity, how to depend on Him fully, and how to find peace even in the middle of uncertainty. Now you're stepping into a new level, and the strength you carry is not accidental. It's earned through everything you've been through. Nothing was wasted. Every hardship added something to you. Every challenge prepared you for what's ahead. So don't look back at your struggles with regret. Look at them with understanding. They were not punishment, they were preparation. And because you endured them, you are now ready to handle what God is about to place in your life. Not everyone is going to understand the path you're walking, and that's not a flaw in you. It's a sign that your calling is deeper than surface-level approval. There have been moments when you tried to explain yourself, to make others see what you feel so strongly in your spirit. But the more you explained, the more misunderstood you felt. That tension is not chance. It comes with being set apart. When God places a calling on your life, it often won't make sense to people who are not spiritually aligned with that assignment. They may question your decisions, doubt your direction, or even distance themselves from you because they can't relate to the changes happening within you. And if you're not careful, their confusion can start to feel like rejection. But there is a difference. Rejection pushes you away without purpose, while divine separation pulls you into alignment, with where you're meant to be. You were never meant to fit into every space or be understood by every person. Trying to force that will only drain your energy and distract you from your purpose. God didn't call you to blend in, He called you to stand out. And standing out often comes with moments of isolation, not because you're alone, but because you're being guided differently. There will be times when people misunderstand your silence, your growth, or your boundaries. They might think you've changed too much or that you've become distant. What they don't realize is that you're evolving. You're letting go of things that no longer align with who you are becoming. And growth can look unfamiliar to those who are used to the old version of you. This is where your strength is tested, not in proving yourself, but in trusting God enough to keep moving forward without constant validation. You don't need everyone to understand your journey for it to be real. You don't need approval from people who cannot see what God has shown you. Your clarity comes from Him, not from the crowd. In fact, the moments when you feel most misunderstood are often the moments when you're closest to stepping into something new. Because growth requires leaving behind what is comfortable and familiar, and not everyone is willing or able to go with you into that next level. So instead of feeling discouraged by the lack of understanding, see it for what it is: confirmation that you are moving in a direction that is uniquely yours. Stay grounded in your faith. Stay connected to God's voice. Let Him guide you even when others question it. Because at the end of the day, your calling was never meant to be validated by everyone. It was meant to be lived out through obedience. And as you continue to walk in that obedience, the right people, the ones who are aligned with your purpose, will begin to understand, support, and walk alongside you. Until then, keep going, even if you have to walk part of the journey alone. What left your life was not taken from you to harm you, it was removed to protect you. It's difficult to see it that way at first, especially when the loss felt sudden or painful. You may have held on tightly, believing certain people, opportunities, or situations were meant to stay. You invested your time, your energy, your heart. So when things began to fall apart, it didn't just feel like change, it felt like something was being taken from you unfairly. But God sees what you cannot see. He knows the full picture, the hidden motives, the unseen consequences, the paths that would have led you away from your purpose. What you experienced as loss was actually divine intervention. It was God stepping in and closing doors that would have eventually brought confusion, delay, or even greater pain into your life. Sometimes we become attached to things that are familiar, even when they are no longer aligned with where we're meant to go. We hold on because it's comfortable, because it's known, because it once felt right. But not everything that starts with you is meant to finish with you. And when God begins to elevate you, He will also begin to separate you from anything that cannot grow with you. That separation can feel like rejection. It can feel like abandonment. You may have questioned why certain people walked away, why certain plans didn't work out, or why doors you prayed for suddenly closed. But those moments were not signs that God forgot you. They were signs that He was redirecting you. Think about it this way. If God allowed everything you wanted to stay in your life, you might never move forward. You might settle in places that limit your growth. You might remain connected to people who cannot support the person you are becoming. So instead, He removes what no longer serves you, even when it hurts, because He values your future more than your comfort. And here's the truth: what is truly meant for you will never require you to lose yourself to keep it. Anything that drains your peace, confuses your spirit, or pulls you away from God's direction cannot be part of your purpose. So when those things fall away, it's not loss, it's alignment. In time, you'll begin to see the clarity that comes after the separation. You'll notice how your mind feels lighter, your focus becomes sharper, and your path starts to make more sense. The space that was created by what left will not remain empty, it will be filled with things that are better suited for who you are now. So don't hold on to what God has already removed. Don't try to reopen doors He has closed. Trust that every ending you experienced was necessary. It was protection. It was redirection. And most importantly, it was preparation for something greater that is now making its way into your life. What you have been waiting for is closer than it appears, even if everything around you has been telling a different story. There were moments when time felt slow, when nothing seemed to move, when your prayers felt like they were echoing back without an answer. You questioned the delays. You wondered why things weren't happening when you expected them to. It's natural to feel that way when you've been holding on to faith for so long. But what feels like delay to you has never been delay in God's timing. God doesn't work according to human urgency, He works according to divine alignment. There are things that had to be set in place before your elevation could happen. Certain lessons needed to be learned, certain distractions needed to be removed, certain parts of your character needed to be strengthened. If things had happened earlier, you might not have been ready to sustain them. You might have stepped into something prematurely and lost it just as quickly. So what you experienced as waiting was actually preparation in motion. Behind the scenes, things have been shifting. Opportunities are aligning. Doors are being positioned. People who are meant to cross your path are being prepared just as you are. You may not see it yet, but movement is happening. And when the moment comes, it won't feel forced or rushed, it will feel right. That's how you'll know it's from God. Elevation is not just about rising higher, it's about becoming who you need to be to stay there. And that's why your journey has been intentional. Every test you passed, every time you chose faith over fear, every moment you refused to give up, all of it has been building a foundation that can support where you're going next. There is also a shift happening within you. You're not the same person you were when you first started this journey. Your mindset has changed. Your priorities have shifted. You see things differently now, and that inner transformation is a clear sign that you are getting closer. Because God often changes you before He changes your circumstances. You might still have moments of doubt, moments where you wonder if anything will truly change. But don't let those thoughts take root. You've come too far to turn back now. The very fact that you've endured this long is proof that something greater is ahead. God does not bring you this far just to leave you in the same place. So hold on just a little longer. Stay consistent, stay faithful, stay aligned with what God has been teaching you. Because the season you are stepping into will make sense of everything you've been through. The waiting will no longer feel like wasted time. It will feel like necessary time. Your elevation is not a possibility, it's a promise in progress. And when it arrives, it will not only change your situation, it will confirm that every delay had a purpose, and every step of your journey was leading you exactly where you were meant to be. There is something important you need to understand about where you are right now. You are not stepping into the unknown unprepared. Even if you feel uncertain, even if you question whether you have what it takes, the truth is that everything you need has already been placed within you. God does not call someone into a new season without first equipping them for it. The preparation may not have looked the way you expected, but it has been happening all along. Think about the experiences you've gone through, the challenges, the lessons, the growth. None of it was random. Every situation added something to you. You gained wisdom from your mistakes, strength from your struggles, and clarity from your confusion. Even the moments that felt like setbacks were actually shaping your ability to handle what comes next. You've been learning, adapting, and growing in ways that are now becoming part of your foundation. Sometimes we expect to feel completely confident before stepping forward, but that's not always how it works. Confidence often comes after obedience. You take the step first, trusting that God has prepared you, and then you begin to see that you are capable. If you wait until you feel perfectly ready, you may end up delaying something that you are already equipped to walk into. You don't need to have every answer. You don't need to see the entire path. What you need is trust in God's guidance and trust in what He has already built inside you. The same God who carried you through your lowest moments is the same God who is leading you into your next level. He hasn't brought you this far to leave you unprepared. There will be challenges ahead, but they won't be unfamiliar in the way you think. You've already faced things that required courage, patience, and faith. And because you made it through those moments, you now carry the ability to face what's coming with greater strength. What once felt overwhelming will now feel manageable because you are not the same person anymore. It's also important to recognize the gifts and abilities you've developed along the way. Maybe you've become more discerning, more patient, more focused. Maybe you've learned how to protect your peace, how to set boundaries, how to stay grounded even when things around you are uncertain. These are not small things, they are essential tools for where you are going. So instead of questioning your readiness, begin to acknowledge your growth. Remind yourself of how far you've come. Recognize that the version of you standing here today is stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before. You are not starting from scratch, you are stepping forward with experience. God has already placed what you need within you. The strength, the resilience, the wisdom, the faith, it's all there. Now it's time to use it. Step forward with confidence, not because everything is easy, but because you are prepared. And as you continue to move ahead, you will discover that you were ready all along. Chosen one, everything is about to make sense. The confusion, the waiting, the pain, it was all part of a bigger plan. And now, you're stepping into a season where clarity replaces doubt, where purpose replaces fear, and where everything you went through begins to work for you, not against you. God is saying, you're ready now, ready to walk boldly, ready to rise confidently, ready to embrace the life that was always meant for you. This is your confirmation. Don't shrink back, don't question it anymore. Step into it, because what's coming next is exactly what you've been prepared for.